A lot of folks, when I saw them reviewing the Walther PDP match series, the all new one, they immediately went straight to the competition market. But I couldn't help to think that Walther actually has a better option for the competition market, being the steel frame. And I really think this full size is much better as a duty gun. Now, somewhat recently, I left law enforcement to pursue a career in the private sector, but I still keep my skills sharp. I still practice the OPATA qual. I'm still a state certified OPATA pistol instructor. And so I want to keep my skills sharp, but more importantly, I want to test out this Walther today by starting out running it through the Ohio Police Officers Training Academy Police Officer Qualification course. So we'll start it off just like that. A couple quick things to note is that with the OPATA course is that it's like the equivalent that you go golfing and they give you an extra 30 strokes on every single par, because that's how much time you ultimately get on every single stage of the OPATA. So for myself, I just time it. I've never been close. Usually speaking, I'm like a quarter of the time that you actually need. So I don't, there are times that go with it. However, like I said, it's like the equivalent of having a gigantic handicap when you go golfing. So we'll just start this off. These first stage is going to be from it's basically called the tuck position, close quarters retention. It's 3 rounds. Next stage is going to be 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. It's a failure drill. Again, you get just forever to get it completed. The next stage is one-handed shooting. That's 4 rounds right-handed. Then you switch. You have a shot timer. Essentially, you go 4 rounds left-handed. Honestly, the hardest part of this one is just shooting it left-handed. So sometimes what's nice to do with this one is you can actually do a tack reload, put that mag back in your mag pouch and stage it for your next stage. Then come up here to the high ready essentially. You can do low ready, but you're going to shoot left-handed. So not completely terrible. I haven't shot left-handed in Lord knows how long, but I threw one out to the left. It's still going to be within, especially the size target that we're using here is considerably smaller and probably about a half of what the standard OPATA target is. The next stage is at 20 feet, so we'll walk back. At 20 feet is actually going to be a reload. It's 3 rounds, reload, 3 rounds. It's very easy, and I'm actually a little bit further than what I need to be. However, pushing it back like that is no issue whatsoever. Now you go back a little further. This next one's at 30 feet. Good. We'll run back now to 50. How about 60? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. You come on over here, take a look at the target with me. It does not take Einstein to figure out that this shot that I'm about to do is not 50 feet. It's way further than that. However, like I said, you give yourself forever on the OPATA qual. So for myself, I can stretch those distances out further and still shoot those times considerably faster than whatever you're given. It makes it way easier to ultimately shoot. I can go up there and I can shoot you a group that's the size of a freaking quarter if I wanted to. Not shooting for that. I'm trying to shoot faster at a greater distance and still maintain an accuracy that would be effective against a threat. It's just 2 shots. Let's run up there and take a look. Which that was actually going to be at that far distance. That's this shot right here. This one here is technically out. So is this one outside of that on this smaller target, they're all in. A complete miss. So that's actually 23 out of 25 on this target with their headshot. All those are good hits. Really can't complain about that. Everything in here, these are left-handed shooting. Everything is A-zone with the exception of these ones from your tuck position or your close quarters retention. And then here, at the top here of the torso, that one's high, but overall the shots lined up. That's pretty good. We're going back at further distances. I'm shooting it faster when I need to. So I want to try it again real quick with a few more rounds. We'll run it through just a few different things I want to do. But overall, the PDP Match Series pistol, being the longer slide length on here, is really good. It feels nice. It tracks extremely well when you're shooting. And I like how it feels and how it actually comes back down on target. For myself, I've always been a bigger fan of the longer slide radius and slides on pistols versus what you're getting on the shorter ones. A lot of agencies like to go with that 4-inch because they're like, oh, well, it fits better when you're sitting down in your seat, which at the end of the day, you know, for myself, I do like to generally have like a drop leg if I was doing it, and have it a little bit lower than what you standard would, because then it's not sitting up here in your hip. And what you see with some of your Safariland holsters, not to get into the rabbit hole here, is that when your Safariland holster is way up here, if you roll over like this, you automatically will defeat the hood on a level 3 Safariland holster 100 times. It just happens nonstop. So having it slightly lower on a mid-ride or a lower ride holster, and then in addition to that, you could still run a longer gun because you just essentially are riding that gun a little bit further on your hip axis versus having it in the rear, and still run that big long slide and shoot really well. So let's shoot this thing some more. But this thing right here will be a fantastic duty pistol for somebody looking for one. But let's shoot some more, a little bit more performance out of it. We got some 3 targets here. We can run a VTAC drill, a few other drills. And I'll give you guys final thoughts at the end. But as you know from our channel, the Walther series of pistols are some of the absolute finest striker fire guns on the market. And they frankly leave no stone unturned, and they're ready to go right out of the box. On our 3 targets here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by shooting 2 rounds in the center target, transition to the left target, shoot 2, and then all the way over to the right target and shoot 2. So it's 2, 2, 2, and then I'm going to attempt to do this one with a reload, and I'm going to do it in, let's say, give myself 8 seconds on this one, which is a lot of time. I should be able to do it, but like I said, there is going to be a reload in there. So 498, all alphas. It's good. Let's do it again. There'll be another reload in here. At least there should be, as long as I can count. The trigger on the PDP series of pistols, and especially like this Pro trigger on here, is so predictable that I find it's plenty safe enough for a law enforcement officer. Even though these things are around 4 pounds with, you know, a short take up and a very defined wall, you know where that trigger is going to break. And at the end of the day, for a police officer, if you're somebody that has to use deadly force, you're not going into the trigger, and ultimately sometimes you're not even pulling the gun unless you have to use deadly force, and you're at that level already. So to say that, you know, the trigger is too light for some people, that's just a lie. That's a handicapped excuse for poor training, and we don't need to have that. It's just, like I said, it handicaps good shooters. So a few more rounds here. Just got 3 total. So I'm just going to do 1 on each target. So I threw 1 out of the A zone. It's in the C zone, or we'll call it B zone over there on the left target. But overall, everything else looks good. It's hard to deny, again, how well these Walther pistols shoot. I always shoot them well. I'm a huge fan of them. But in essence, what I also want to make mention of, and I can't deny it, is that our shirts that you see here, these are all new for us, and we're going to be coming out with these suckers. And it says, "Make gun reviews honest again." Well, in the sake of being honest, I have basically made mention over the lack of plates that come with your Walther PDP series of pistols. This pistol did not come with this plate. We took this plate off of another gun that we had from Walther and put it on here. Walther sent this pistol out to us. Very happy they did. I really like it. However, I think it's complete BS that you don't get plates. And then more importantly, when we requested the plate 3 weeks ago and still haven't had it, we contacted Walther customer service about getting a plate, and Walther told us it'd be 3 to 4 weeks before we got another plate. We even told them that we are content creators and need the plate to review an all-new optic coming out from Vortex, which is out now. Still didn't get it. So that's just a shame, in my opinion. It's the biggest downfall. I've had a PDP where I never got the plate. I had a PDP where it came in a week. Awesome. And then this plate, still out there in no man's land, just out there for the world to find. And I don't think I'm ever going to get it. Some folks say, oh, you could just buy one. For the price of these guns, I shouldn't have to buy a plate. Just give me the damn plate. For those that don't know, The Walther PDP series of pistols has a nice grip texture that's like a hexagonal dimpled pattern on there that has really good textures for a factory gun with no extra stippling jobs. Checkering here on the front, a slight undercut on there, no thumb ledges or anything like that, which you don't need. Ambi, slide stop, slide release, a nice round magazine release button. And then the match series of pistol, what you get up here is you have lightning cuts here on the 5-inch model like this, and then down here at the bottom you have a Magwell, 3 18-round magazines with aluminum base pads on them, and then that performance trigger on here. The performance trigger is the finest part of these pistols. On the PDP Pro is the same thing. The PDP Pro here, the match polymer frame gun, no exception. You get Glock style sights up here, which are actually polymer. I don't have an issue with because I'm going to end up putting a red dot and they're just backup sights. You could obviously change those things out, and they also have that PDP Professional Series, which is a phenomenal option and deal for a police officer. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do a 6 reload 6 build drill. That is always fun for me. Sometimes it goes really well. If I push the gas a little bit, it might go kind of shitty, but that's okay. The whole point when you're training and you're practicing things is that you ultimately push the limit. That's why you train. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to start my hands up, so it's going to add some time, but that's all right. So 12 shots total, 6:59 is the total time on that, all A-zone hits. So I can't complain about my overall effectiveness and accuracy. Let's see, first shot was 153, so it's 1.5 out of the holster. Can't complain about that. Next shot was, so we had about 0.21. Yeah, the highest split time we had was a 35. So, I mean, really shot, let's see, shot 7. So we had about a 2.4 second reload time on there. So that's, again, like I said, the total time on that, 6:59, that's 6 shots with a reload. I'm not gonna complain. And most importantly, when we're running drills, you always gotta do something for the gram. What's the most popular one on social media? One reload one. You know why? It's easy to complete. The beauty of one reload one is you practically can't screw it up because your grip won't really matter on that first shot. And again, simple A-zone hits. And this thing is just continuing to run along. I love the PDP series of pistols. One of the big things that we talked about was how nice the trigger is here with the performance trigger on your Walther series of pistols. The match, no exception. You see it's a little bit gray versus the black that you get on the PDP Pro SD. But what I want to do is walk you through that trigger pull or trigger press so you can see what it's like live fire. So on the range here, let's come down to that trigger. There's a little blade on there that sits completely flush when you pull the trigger. And then you got some take up. I'm at a wall. Any creep? No creep. Reset. Ultra short. I mean, we're talking 1/8 of an inch. Nice crisp break. See that take up again? So come down to the trigger, take up to the wall. You can't mistake it. You really can't. That's probably the beauty of these pistols in general. So again, like I said, for a law enforcement officer as a duty pistol, this trigger is not too light. It has a very firm wall that just does not take a ton of pressure to break, but you know it's there and you can't mistake it. We're gonna finish this up today by shooting this thing. It's like a box drill. A lot of fun to shoot and also incorporate some movement and target transitions. We have finished up shooting the Walther PDP Match 5-inch polymer frame gun. Although these things are geared towards the competitive market, this thing has been 100% reliable like every other Walther PDP we've used. It shoots great, and really I think this pistol fills a better niche market with the law enforcement market. And I love the fact of how large the slide is, how long it is. It really tracks nice and flat. It's a great shooting pistol, and frankly this thing is hard to beat. If you're a police officer and you're thinking about running a full-size gun with a 5-inch barrel, this thing right here is the pistol for you. If I could have chosen this back when I was a state trooper, I probably would have over the 320 that I had. This thing is really a great shooting gun. It's hard to get over how well the PDP series of pistols shoot. What makes me happy to see is that Walther has gained the popularity of the LE market because they make a great duty pistol and a great match pistol. But most importantly, guys, if you want to let us know what you think, get down in that comment section, drop us a comment, please. Like the video, share it with all of your friends, get the message out there and help support the Hunt, Fish, Shoot channel.